What up, peeps? Welcome to a pickup video. This is going to be a longer video than normal for the pickup videos, even though they're already usually pretty long. I just have so much stuff here to go over. It's actually been longer than normal in between filming these things. So there's quite a bit. I've gone to a couple conventions since the last pickup video. And yeah, make sure you have a drink. Maybe you're working on something, put this on in the background. This is going to be a long one. So first off, going to start off how I always do with the kind of like not video game stuff. Just like some random promotional items, some other stuff. So first, we have the Mortal Kombat animated VHS, which I don't think I've ever seen this. I've obviously seen the Mortal Kombat movie, but this one is different. This is like a 3D animated looking like cartoon movie. I don't know. I will definitely be checking this out. I love putting stuff like this on in the game room while I'm like organizing or putting stuff away. So usually after I film these pickup videos, I have to put everything away. I'll usually throw something on the TV, and usually it's something like this. Next up, these are really, really cool. These maybe should be saved for towards the end of the video because they are pretty rare, but I like to save games for last. So I have 3 different things here. I think that these are all pre-order bonus type things, but this first one, I'm not 100% sure. It's a Beautiful Joe bobblehead. And there are 2 of these. There's this one where he's got the red suit, and then there's like the normal Joe. I've known that these have existed for quite some time. I've just never come across one in person. And so this was traded in at the store. Obviously had to add it to the collection. But I don't know if these were pre-order bonuses or not. I just know that there's the 2 different ones out there. The box is completely plain white, which is why I think maybe it is a pre-order bonus, because if this was a retail item, it would obviously have some sort of packaging and branding with it. So if you guys know for sure, let me know in the comments. I'm on the lookout for the other one. I'd love to get it at some point. I actually have a bunch of video game related bobbleheads. There's 4 different Mega Man ones. I have 3 of those 4. I have a TAC bobblehead, which I'm looking at up here, which was a pre-order bonus for the PS2 one. I have a SpongeBob bobblehead, which was also a pre-order bonus for a PS2 game. And then I have all the Nintendo ones. I have Metroid right there. There's Link. There's Mario. And then there's like a Donkey Kong one. And then I have Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Bowser that are all like from the same line. I have the Star Fox one. And then I have another Mario one that I got from an ex-Nintendo employee, and according to him is a prototype. I've never seen another one, and Mario has 2 buck teeth in it, which is so funny. But I love collecting those bobbleheads. I think that's super cool. The other 2 items I have here that kind of fall into that same line of, you know, pre-order bonus type stuff. First up is a Max Payne 2 pre-order t-shirt. And this one is from GameStop. It's all still new in the box here. The other one though, which is really cool, I've never seen before, is a Metroid Prime Best Buy pre-order thing from the GameCube. And it includes 2 things. It's got the little pre-order like DVD, which is still sealed here. And I feel like I've actually seen these quite a bit, but the other item I had never seen before, and it's a Metroid Prime little disc sleeve holder thing. I think they call it a game holder, but it's like one of the little like mini disc pouches to hold your GameCube games. And I think that is super cool. There's a couple of these listed on eBay, but nothing in the box like this. So I have no idea how hard they are to find other than there's none on eBay right now. But either way, that is super cool. Obviously, I have the full GameCube library, so collecting stuff like that means I can still add to the GameCube collection, which I think is awesome. Another kind of weird promotional item is this, and these are Virtual Boy playing cards, official from Nintendo. Got the little white slip cover. It's a full deck, and these ones are still sealed. There's a little piece of paper in here as well. Got these from Malik. You guys have seen him in a few of the videos recently, both on the Double Jump channel and in the most recent SNES Quest video here. But that is super cool. These were actually much cheaper than I expected. They're only like 50 bucks. So if you're collecting Virtual Boy stuff and you want something cool, definitely be on the lookout for those, because they seem to be pretty plentiful on eBay, and like I said, not very expensive, which I was surprised about. We might be getting close to being through everything that's not video games. I do have one controller and then one console. The console here, this is actually a console that I have not added to the collection in, I think, a few years. It's been that long since I've gotten one, and that is a Nintendo Wii, and it is this bundle here. This includes Mario Kart Wii, you get the wheel, of course the game, and then it comes with a white Wii Motion Plus controller, which is pretty interesting. This box is super long. It's kind of like normal thickness for a Wii box, but it's much longer than normal. And like I said, I haven't added a Wii system to the collection in a very, very long time. I think my most recent one, because I'm looking at them on the wall over here, was the blue Donkey Kong Country bundle, which I think was like an Australian exclusive or something like that. But yeah, it's been quite some time, and actually, I'm looking, I have the Wii Mini, I have that Donkey Kong blue one, and then I have 2 black ones and 3 white ones up there. I can only see the side of them. Okay, one of the white ones is blue. I was thinking maybe I didn't have a red one in box, but I'm almost positive that I bought one at a local store. I remember it, but either way, haven't added a Wii system for quite some time, so that's kind of cool. And then the controller that I have to show you guys is just a condition upgrade, but it was a good one. It is a factory sealed black GameCube controller. And I already had a sealed black controller, but the packaging on mine was like destroyed. Like this top part here, it was like bent forward, like it was all creased across here. There was a bunch of cracks, it was yellowed. The little bubbles over here were like pushed in and stuff. So this is a very nice upgrade. My other one is actually right here, because I haven't taken it to the store yet, but you can see it's like all bent. There's a big crack right here on the back, and just overall not in the best condition. So this one's going to the store, and I'm keeping the other one. And I think that's it for all the like promotional stuff, the weird stuff, the not games. So moving on with the actual video games. So I have one Nintendo Wii game, and I'm so surprised that it took me this long to get this game, and I can't believe that I didn't have it before, and that is PokePark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. I have no idea why I didn't have this in the collection. I have the second one, I have Battle Revolution, but I was missing this one. If you guys remember my like Pokemon collection video that we uploaded a while ago, that was like one of the main things that I was missing. I think there was like a normal version of one of the Switch games too, but finally got PokePark Wii. I also have a couple GameCube games here. The first one is Mario Party 7. And you're probably like, why would you need Mario Party 7? You have the full set. Obviously you have this game. And I did have this game, and it was on the wall, like normal, alphabetized with everything else. But at some point, I got the big box for it, which includes the microphone, and I had taken my normal copy of the game to put inside that box because when I got it, it wasn't complete. So I needed to replace it and have another one because it's a variant and I like to have both versions. So I just didn't think about it for a long time because I was like, you know, it's not a huge deal, but finally got it to replace the one that I put into the big box. The other one here is a pretty cool variant, and this is almost the type of variant that I don't care about, but I decided to keep it just because. And it is Metroid Prime 2, but it has a little Napster sticker on the front here, and it says Target exclusive. So normally something like this I wouldn't care about because it's not printed on the artwork. It's not like, you know, it's not like a major variant, I suppose. But the reason I decided to keep it is because this Target exclusive Napster sticker is specific to Metroid Prime 2. They weren't just throwing this on all the games, at least from what I can tell. Because when I looked this up on eBay, there's actually a couple other ones posted or sold that are Metroid Prime 2 with the Napster sticker. So I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. I'll add to the collection because, you know, why not? It's not super expensive. It's not like I'm missing out on a ton of money by holding on to it, but I thought that was just kind of cool. And then one Wii U game, which we also have the full set for, but this one is an opened copy and I only had it sealed. So I swapped them. My store gets the sealed copy, I get the open one, and it's Finding Teddy 2, which was one of the few last Wii U games that was released and also a PAL exclusive. And then I have 2 PS2 games here. Oh shoot, I have one more console. It was under some other stuff. I have a black DSi, just a standard black one. Obviously, I'm going for like all the different colors and stuff like that, so this is just one of the basic ones that we just didn't have in the collection yet. So nothing too special, but it is another handheld, which is nice. And then onto the two PS2 games. These are both very special, and actually until, well, one of them I had never seen before until getting it. The other one here I've seen, but we've never had it at the store, at least fully complete like this, and I've never had the opportunity to add it to my collection until now, and that is the Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence Limited Edition. So we've had Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence quite a few times. We've even had the theater disc quite a few times, which is what comes in here with it. But I've never seen the bigger box version like this, so obviously we had to add that to the collection. The other one though, probably one of the rarest items out of the entire video here is this PS2 item. It's definitely not the most expensive item, but in terms of rarity, it's pretty cool, and that is the Getaway. And I think that this is a press kit version. Not 100% sure, because press kits can be so weird and different, and none of them are similar, right? They're all different. But this one has, I'm actually not even sure what this is. I thought it was a vinyl at first, but I think it's a calendar, but it is sealed. There's also a little like paper in here from Sony to SCEA Retail Partners. So retail partner makes it sound like maybe this was sent to like a GameStop or something. So I don't know why they would send a press kit to a GameStop, but either way, it's super cool. It's got another little fold out paper thing here. And then in the bottom here, we have the demo disc and a VHS tape, which I think is so cool. I know that when we showed this in the double jump videos, I was talking about how I think it's so weird that there's a VHS tape, and everyone's like, well, yeah, but DVD players were still kind of new when the PS2 came out, and not everyone had them, so sending a VHS was more likely to be used in that way, but it's a PS2 press kit. The PS2 can play DVDs. I think it would have been normal and fine for there to be a DVD instead of a VHS. I just think it's kind of interesting, but that is super cool. All right, so I do have some PS1 games, which I'm gonna save. We'll kind of like go back and forth between things. For now, let's look at Nintendo Switch, because as you guys know, I always add a crap ton of Switch games to the collection, and this video is no different. We have a bunch of new releases and then also just some other random stuff that we've gotten. I'm gonna start with the big box stuff first. And the first one we have is Doom Eternal. And this is like the big collector's edition version. I think there's a few different collector's editions for this game, so I don't know the exact title of this one, but it is open. Just got the plastic on there still. We also have a new release, Neva or Neva Deluxe Edition. Not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but this is made by the same people that made Gree, which is one of Abby's favorite Switch games, so had to get that. I think that we have the normal version as well, but it's not in my stacks here, so I think that maybe she has that like with her Switch, because I was looking for it earlier. Next up is the 100 line Last Defense Academy Limited Edition. This is another one that just came out, and we carry most new Switch releases at our store, so always order one extra for the collection. We also have, this is a really weird one, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Super Mario Party in a double pack. And we actually got this like empty box only at the store a long time ago, like a year, maybe a year and a half ago. And I had just been lazy about trying to complete it, but I saw it sitting in the back at the store and I was like, oh, I should probably get the games to complete that. So finally did and brought it home for the collection. We also have Cult of the Lamb, which I've heard so many good things about, but I have not played yet. This is the Special Reserve version. It's numbered 1955 out of 6400. And then we also have AI, the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative Collector's Edition. Big box here. Doesn't say what it comes with on the outside. Oh. It has a Good Smile Company pop-up parade PVC IBA figure, an art book, and a soundtrack. And then onto the standard case games. There's so many of them here. I might kind of rapid fire them a little bit, and if I have anything to say about them in particular, I will. So first up, 100 line, the standard edition. Another new release, Lost Ruins. We have Azure Striker Gunvolt 3. Monster Sanctuary. This game looks pretty good. Definitely want to check that out. Care Bears Unlock the Magic, another new release. And then Gree, this is the one I was just talking about, but they did a re-release version, a new print of it, and it has a different cover here. So obviously had to get that too. Jumanji Wild Adventures. NBA 2K24. Knights of Azure 2 Bride of the New Moon. Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. NBA 2K21. RBI Baseball 21. Dwerve. So this is a game that I actually have started playing. I'm only about like an hour and a half into it so far, but it's pretty fun. It reminds me of, I'm trying to think because I had made the comparison. Oh yeah, it's like if you took Zelda Link to the Past and merged it with Pixel Junk Monsters 2. That's a very weird combination, but if you've played both those games, you might kind of get it. You play as like this little character, and when you get to a spot where there's enemies, it kind of like tells you that they're about to start spawning, and you have a little bit of time to set down all of your traps because your character doesn't have his own attack. So you have to use these traps to defeat the enemies and stuff like that. So reminds me of Pixel Junk Monsters, but the kind of like the world and the exploring and the top-down viewpoint reminds me of Zelda. So very fun game. I'm not super far into it, but this is definitely one that I would recommend if you're into those types of games. I'm having some fun with it. Next up is Brigandine, The Legend of Is it Runergia? I don't know. Double Switch 25th Anniversary Edition. I think this is just a cover variant because Limited Run did like, they had their versions and they had the Best Buy versions. So I'm pretty sure I already had the other one. This is just the one I didn't have. Atelier Yumiya, another new release. Another new release, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. The Messenger, this is the reprint version. The original copy of this game, the original print run, was extremely expensive. It was like $300 or $400, so they reprinted it at $30, and this is that version. We also have Bubble Ghost Remake, another one that I would love to check out. The original Bubble Ghost was on Game Boy, I believe, and this game looks pretty cool. We also have Pocket Bravery. We have Him, the Smile and Bloom, and Battlefield Waltz. Hello Kitty Island Adventure Deluxe Edition. Kemco RPG Selection Volume 1. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. Rocket Knight Adventures Resparked. This is another one that I would definitely like to check out. Save Me Mr. Taco Definitive Edition. That one also looks pretty good. Humans and octopuses are at war. But it looks like, at least the first screenshot right there, looks like Kirby's Adventure, or Kirby's Dream Land on Game Boy. We have Demon Turf and Gear Shifters. This one looks spooky. The Bunker. Oh, here it is, the other Double Switch. And then we have Arms. This one we already had in the collection, but we sold one on our website at the store and then like couldn't find it. So I brought mine from home to supply for that order and then added this one back into the collection. We have The Wild at Heart. This one is, I'm gonna butcher this, Mushi Himasama. We have Cursed to Golf, which looks really good. I'm trying not to collect a ton of imports for the Switch because there's already too many North American games to go after, but when we get some at the store, if they're cool, I am adding them to the collection. This is one of them, Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 bundle. Also, the Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher. We have Speed Limit, Transformers Earthspark Expedition, Risen, another new release here, the Poppy Playtime Triple Pack, another new release, SteamWorld Heist 2. So I played SteamWorld Dig 2, that was one of the first Switch games that I played through and beat, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you have played SteamWorld Heist, let me know if I should play this one based on SteamWorld Dig, because if it's anything similar, I would definitely like to check it out. Next one is El Rentaros Wanderings. Beyond the Ice Palace 2, this is another one that I really want to check out. Obviously, I don't have enough time to play all these games like right now, but I'm adding things to my mental list for the future. Then we have Windjammers 2, West of Dead, Path of the Crow, Wolfenstein Youngblood Deluxe Edition. That one's a stupid code in a box on which I've actually been considering getting rid of all those because I have like 15 or 20 of them. Road 96, Bad North, Narita or Narita Boy, Forgotten Anne, Rose and Camellia Collection, Call of Cthulhu, The Red Lantern, Cat Girl Without Salad, Amuse-Bouche. It's got that terrible like Mega Man ripoff cover art. Colossal Cave, Haven, Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom, which looks really cool, and Lair of the Clockwork God. I know nothing about it. It doesn't show anything on the back. So lots of Switch games there. I do not know how they're going to fit these shelves because they just will not. So might have to be boxing some more stuff up, which I don't want to do, but what else am I going to do? Let's go back to PlayStation. We'll finish off with the PS1 games here before we get to the rest of the Nintendo stuff. So some of these next ones here are really hard to find, but actually I'll show the long box games first. I was going to do it in the reverse order, but it doesn't really matter. We have Assault Rigs, and also Return Fire, and Street Fighter the Movie. So one of our regular customers, he's been trading in a lot of stuff. He brought in a big stack of long box games last week. Probably like the stack was probably like this. And these are the only 3 that I didn't have. But PS1 long box games are just so uncommon, at least the ones that I am still looking for. And so any chance I get to add them to the collection, I have to do it. And then right after that, like the same day I had removed these 3 for myself, we did our Whatnot stream and sold like 90% of the rest of them to like 2 people, which was pretty crazy. The rest of these also came from the same person, and it is, so one of them was a condition upgrade for my previous copy. The rest I did not have yet because they're kind of hard to find, but we have Namco Museum Volume 1, Namco Museum Volume 2, Namco Museum Volume 3, Namco Museum Volume 4, and Volume 5. And Namco Museum 3, I think just 3, there's 2 different cover versions. There's the one that's got like the Namco, you know, letters on there. Then there's one that's just got like the games and stuff like that. So obviously I'm on the lookout for the other one as well, which is very, very common. But some of these are kind of hard to find, and he had them in like this big collection box, but it was a Japanese box with the North American games, and technically the box wasn't released in the US, so it should have the Japanese games with it. So we're separating that, but the rest of it is going back to the store. So let's move on. That's it for PS1. I only have a couple DS, 3DS games here. The first one, if you guys remember, when I did my road trip with Cody, I bought a bunch of not for resale 3DS games in Ohio, and then lost, like they like fell over in my car. And I showed a bunch in my pickup videos a while ago, but then I found one randomly under like my seat. Well, it happened again. There was another one that fell over in my car, and I found it recently, and that was a Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition, not for resale cartridge. It's just so funny. I think this is the last one. I looked under both seats in the car, and I was cleaning out the car as well, so I had a good chance to find any that were left. I'm pretty sure that was the last one. And then for the original DS, I got the Driver's Ed Portable USA Edition, and it seems like this is getting more and more expensive because we had 2 of these at the store, and they were priced at like $38 complete. We had one of them, and then this one came in making 2, and then that's when I saw this one and I was like, oh, why is that like a $38 game? That's crazy. And then I looked it up on price charting, and it was actually going for like $50, and I was like, oh crap, I guess I'll take one of them, add to the collection. I left the other one priced at $38 just in case somebody wanted to find a good deal. But yeah, interesting. There's different versions. That's the USA one. There's like ones for other countries too. And then we have the Oregon Trail 40th Anniversary Edition for the 3DS. Have not been adding a ton of 3DS games lately. I've been saying that like I was focusing on Super Nintendo, but kind of doing 3DS as well. But because of the Barbie game, I decided maybe to switch towards PS1 instead of 3DS for the next console that I focus on, simply because I don't want to spend $5 on a Barbie game. And for PS1, I already have most of the expensive games, so when I do start focusing on PS1, it'll be a lot easier to complete, I think, than 3DS. So there we go. I have NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Virtual Boy remaining. So let's go through the Virtual Boy games. Some of these might arguably be the more rare games in the entire video, but who cares? We have the Japanese version of Golf. We also finally got the official 4-display only box for Mario's Tennis. And we recently did the entire Virtual Boy collection video. I wish that I had maybe waited to get these because I didn't know that I was going to be getting these. But it would have been nice to have these for the video. So I had a reproduction box for this, which you saw in that video if you watched it. This is the official 4-display only box that is now replacing the reproduction. And then, in addition to the Japanese golf game, which I did not have, I added 3 more Japanese Virtual Boy games to the collection, leaving, I believe, either 1 or 2 left to have the full Japanese set, which is insane. The unfortunate part is that, no, it is 2 games left. It's a Virtual Bowling, I believe, which is kind of expensive. It's like a few $100. But the other one, or wait, no, maybe I'm mixing it up. I think that there's 2 games I need. I think one of them is like a couple hundred. The other one, which I think is actually the Virtual Bowling, it's like $12,000. I have no idea why. I will not spend that on it. But it's just crazy that a bowling game would be that much. I don't know why. I don't know if, because it's a Japanese exclusive title, I don't know if it was maybe a store exclusive or a mail order thing. I have no idea. I guess if you know, let me know in the comments down below, but I probably will not be adding that game to the collection anytime soon, and I'll probably just be 1 to 2 games away from the full Japanese Virtual Boy set for a very, very long time. But the other 3 Japanese Virtual Boy games here that I did get are all really hard to find and also expensive. So first one is Space Invaders, the Virtual Collection. When I got these like a couple weeks ago, or like a month ago, this is like a $600 game, which is insane. This next one, I originally passed on because of the condition, but then ended up making a deal for all the Virtual Boy stuff that Malik had, and so it was part of that. But this is the SD Gundam Dimension War. And this is like 1,500-ish, something like that. The box is pretty rough on this one, which is why I was going to pass on it. But then, like I said, ended up getting it anyway. The last one though, who knows what this one is worth because it sells so infrequently, it's hard to tell, but it's Virtual Lab. This one is in really nice condition, which is super cool, but I honestly don't know what it's worth. Price charting says like 2,000-ish or something around there, but then the last one sold for like 4, but who knows? Pretty cool stuff though. Always happy to add more Virtual Boy games to the collection, and we're so close to having, well, I don't think that there's any like European exclusives, so we're really close to having the full worldwide set, which is insane. Like I said though, it'll probably never happen. All right, moving on. Let's actually go with Super Nintendo, because I think NES and Game Boy here, there's some pretty special stuff. But for Super Nintendo, you've actually already seen all of these games if you are caught up with the SNES Quest videos that we've been posting on the channel. So these are going to be recaps from those videos, but still some cool stuff. First up, a 4-display only box for Mario RPG, which is pretty cool. Got this at the SideQuest Expo here in Portland, and it came with the cartridge and the manual. The manual was like pretty destroyed, but still it came with those. And the guy was not sure if it was legit or not, and I was questioning it as well because all the printing is like blurry on the back, and I have a couple 4-display only boxes in the collection already, but I couldn't remember if they were like that or not. So I bought it anyway, and it was a decent price, but after comparing it to my other ones, I do think that it is legit because they're all kind of blurry like that. So either way, very, very cool. It's not, I don't think they're like super expensive. Most of the 4 display only boxes that I can find on eBay are actually really, really cheap. And I just spit. And I actually bought a few more 4 display only boxes, which you'll probably see in the next video. But got that one locally, which is cool. I do have 4 cartridges here to complete boxes we already had. This one I've been looking for such a long time and I have not been able to find it. Wing Commander, The Secret Missions. I've been looking for this ever since my road trip with Cody. Couldn't find it at any of the stores we visited, which is crazy, but finally got one. We also have the Exertainment Mountain Bike Rally. Still need a manual for that one. And then we have Kakoma Night in Busyland. And lastly, the Jetsons. This one's kind of hard to find. Very happy to knock that one off the list. My goal is to try to get all of the cartridges and manuals that I need to complete the boxes I have before finishing the Super Nintendo set, because we're making the SNES Quest series of videos, and how lame would it be to get that final game we need, but then be like, oh, actually we need like 5 more cartridges and 10 more manuals. Kind of dumb. So I'm trying to get those knocked off the list before completing the set. So continuing on with Super Nintendo, we have this, I can't remember the full name, it's something, and then King of Demons, but it's like a new release, homebrew, whatever you want to call it. We also have another one of those, Rendering Ranger 2, or Rendering Ranger R2. And then those are the only, these are the only like homebrew, new release style ones. So the rest here were just new additions to the collection, but like I said, they've already been shown in the SNES Quest videos, but we have a sealed copy of Wayne Gretzky and the NHLPA All-Stars. We have Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Crossroads of Time, and I did try to put these in order of like most common to most rare. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, Starship Bridge Simulator. Brutal, Paws of Fury, and I guess we somehow had some like duplicate gameplay in the video where we got that game. I don't know what happened with that. Jesse is the one that edits the videos, and he was like, when I told him about the comments, people being like, oh, there's double gameplay. He's like, what? I didn't even have that gameplay. So we don't know what happened. Next one is Redline F1 Racer. This is a game that I never even see loose cartridges of, so I was very happy to find this at the SideQuest Expo. We have Chester Cheetah's Wild Wild Quest. For some reason, these Chester Cheetah games are really hard to find. We also have Snow White in Happily Ever After. And since getting this for the collection, I've actually gotten 2 more copies, which is crazy. So I've been able to get the best condition one for the set here. We're getting to the big ones here. We have King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. We also have Rex Ronan Experimental Surgeon, one of the hardest games to find in my opinion, and got this from one of our regulars, and this is in very nice shape. We also have, in unfortunately not the best condition, but very hard to find, is Oscar. It's the name of our mailman at the store. We also have Nosferatu, and this one is missing a poster. If anyone out there has the poster, please let me know. I would love to buy it from you. We also have Incantation, which is also not in the best condition, unfortunately, but it's not too bad. I'm not super, super picky about condition. Like, if I don't have the game and we get it at the store and it's in bad shape, I'll add it to the collection anyway. I don't care. I can always upgrade them in the future. But obviously, I do like to have things in good condition. I'm just not like, oh, there's a little speck right here. There's a tiny little crease. I can't buy this one. Like, I'm not that crazy about it. Last 2 here, Sonic Blast Man 2, which is very, very hard to find. And I got the first one not too long ago, so finally got the second one. And then the last one here, this was excluding like the Donkey Kong Country Competition cartridge and like Super Copa and a couple other ones that are not part of the official full set. This was the most expensive game that I still needed, and was so happy that Malik had it and pulled it out at the Washington State Gaming Expo, and that is Final Fight Guy. Comes in this crazy orange box. It's got all the Japanese text on the back. Blockbuster exclusive, direct from Japan, it says. Includes instructions in English. This one is fully complete, and it's the only Super Nintendo box that's not black. Very interesting, very, very hard to find, very rare, and actually a really fun game as well. I played it for the first time in the SNES Quest episode where we picked it up, so emulate it. It's too expensive to buy, unless you're crazy like me. All right, moving on, let's go through the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. Now these ones I don't have in any particular order, because I had one stack that I had entered and I got, at the convention and stuff like that. And then I had another big stack that I just entered like this morning. So I didn't bother to try to put them in any particular order, excuse me. But I do have a couple cartridges here that go into boxes we already had. That is Rugrats Castle Capers and Golden Sun The Lost Age. So our copies of both of those should be complete now. And then one instruction manual that I needed was Mercenary Force. Cannot believe that I found that, because it was just random at the show. I just bought a bunch of manuals from a guy, and then I was going through them later and I was like, wait a minute, I think I need that, and it was on my list, so that was cool. It was an accidental purchase and it worked out. All right, going through the rest of them here, like I said, no particular order, and some of these games are factory sealed, and you guys know I don't really care about collecting factory sealed games, but I'd rather have the game than not have it. So if I have it sealed, that's better than not having it at all, and I will upgrade or downgrade, whatever you want to say. I'll replace them with opened copies in the future when I stumble across them. So here we go. Ice Climber, sealed. 007, Everything or Nothing, also sealed. Justice League, Injustice for All, also sealed. Altered Beast, Guardian of the Realms, sealed. And Tron 2.0 Killer App, sealed. And then for Game Boy Color, we have Dragon's Lair, sealed. And then also for Game Boy Color, we have Rocks, which is sealed. I think those are all the factory sealed ones. I'm pretty sure. Next up, we have Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival for GBA. We also have Stuntman. Played the PS2 version of this game back in the day, but never Game Boy. NHL 2002. Nothing too special there. Final Fight 1. We also have Ultimate Spider-Man. Battle Unit Zeoth for the original Game Boy. Midway's Greatest Arcade Hits. And then I think actually the next, well, okay, yeah, the Midway one doesn't have the cartridge, and these next two also do not have cartridges, but that is Wings, which I had never heard of. And then also Gradius Galaxies. No cartridge for that one either. Then we have Dragon Ball GT Transformation. And then I guess I did put these in order at the very end here. These are the ones I got from Malik at the expo as well, so you might have seen these in the video, but we got Solomon's Club for original Game Boy. Also Mysterium. And the big boy one, Night Quest. And this one is in excellent condition. You can just see the shine on there. Super nice, very, very hard to find. Even a loose cartridge is not common. So very happy with that. Shout out to Malik. And then lastly, we have NES games. And most of these came from Malik as well. Now that I'm looking at it, I think only 2 of these didn't come from him. Yeah. One of these came in at the store randomly. The other one I got from someone else also at the Washington State Gaming Expo. And the rest came from Malik. So I'm gonna try to do these in order as well, but I'm gonna do them off the top of my head. I don't know exactly which ones are more expensive than others, or more rare, but we're just gonna go by what I'm feeling. So first up, the one that got traded into the store randomly is the Blues Brothers. And then we also have Pro Sport Hockey. We have Wally Bear and the No Gang, which is one of the American Video Entertainment releases, so this is one of the unlicensed games. And actually, there's quite a few of those in here, which is pretty cool because this kind of stuff is just not very common. Even loose cartridges, we'll get like Bible Adventures and RBI Baseball and, like the Tengen, Pac-Man, or Gauntlet 2. But stuff like this, we do not ever get even loose. So when I see them, I'm a little bit more inclined to go after those unlicensed games than the official released ones, just because I feel like they're harder to find. Next one is another one of those, and that is Secret Scout in the Temple of Demise. This is a Color Dreams release. We also have, I don't even know where to go. We're just gonna go with Clue Clue Land. This is a black box title, of which I'm only missing a few. This was one of them, so had to grab that. We also have Menace Beach. This is another Color Dreams release. And then, like I said, I don't know what should come next, but we're gonna go with Action 52. This one is kind of infamous because of AVGN, and just everything about this game is crazy. This is another unlicensed release. It's got 52 games in one. They're all terrible. And it's a very interesting release. Definitely watch the AVGN video if you have not, because not only is it funny and it's a good video, but he actually goes through the history of it and stuff, so good way to learn about it. Next up, we have Color a Dinosaur. And this one has the plastic around the box and it's just cut open at the top, which you guys know, that's, you know, I like to find games like that. And it's got an old Famicom sticker on here, which I guess was a store somewhere like around Seattle back in the day. So pretty cool. We also have Moon Ranger, another unlicensed game. This is from Bunch Games, and this is the black cartridge variant. There's also a blue version. Let me know in the comments which one is more rare, because I do not know. I just know that one of them is harder to find than the other. But that's the black cartridge version there. We also have, I'm gonna save that one for last. The one I'm saving for last maybe isn't the most expensive, but I think it's the coolest, so we'll save that one for last. We have Zen Intergalactic Ninja, which is a very hard to find game. Same with this one. This is the other one that I didn't get from Malik, but still came from the expo. That is Die Hard, which is really hard to find. And this one, we had a sealed copy of Clock Tower 2 for the PS1, but it had a bunch of cracks on the case, so it wasn't in like good collector condition, but it was still like 350 bucks. And there was another vendor who was like, hey, I have a local customer back home that asked me to look for this game. I sent him a picture of it and he wants it. Can we work out like a partial trade? And I was like, yeah, of course. We've had that Clock Tower for a long time. So we ended up trading for this, and he gave me 100 bucks cash. So I was super happy with that, added that to the collection. And the last one, which I did get from Malik, but I'm so happy about. This one is factory sealed, and that's not uncommon for this game. That probably gives you guys a hint at what it might be. But this is another one of those like really like infamous kind of like unlicensed NES games. And it's just cool. Probably not the best game. It's probably terrible. I've never played it. And this one's sealed, so I can't yet. But that is a sealed copy of Caltron 6-in-1. And there's also another version of this called the Myriad 6-in-1, which is basically this other company, Myriad. They purchased, I don't know if they purchased Caltron, the company, or if they just purchased the rights to the game or whatever it was, but they took the game. I think they changed the title screen to have their logo on it, and then slapped another sticker on the cartridge over the Caltron one that just says Myriad 6-in-1. That one's, I think, a lot harder to find than this, but still really, really cool piece of Nintendo history that is now part of my collection. So that's it. That's everything for this video. I know that was a lot. So thank you guys for those that were able to bear with me and get through the entire video. As always, we're going to do a keyword here. So if you put this word in your comment, it'll tell me you watched the entire video without skipping ahead. And I like to pick something from one of the games. So we're gonna go with something weird. We're gonna go with Cat Girl. So if you put the words Cat Girl in your comment, that'll tell me you watched the entire video. And if you did, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.